Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be going over the results from Gameweek 4 in the Premier League, having a chat about the results and the games, and yeah, going into that and having a look at the league table at the end, see what effect this week's results have had on the Premier League. Right guys, here we go, first result of the weekend, kicked off at St Mary's Stadium. Southampton took on Manchester United. A game that I thought was going to be a tough one for United on the road, to be fair. Obviously they had that massive result against Liverpool at Old Trafford on the Monday. But yeah, I thought this was going to be a bit of a tough one for United, really. Southampton did setting themselves up pretty well in the last couple of weeks, looked well organised this season, other than other years that they've had in the league, really. But yeah, United looked strong throughout, really. Defence looked pretty solid. You don't usually say that about Man United, but yeah, they looked pretty solid in this one, to be fair. Defence looked pretty organised. They did have a lot of chances, Southampton, but none of them were really clear cut, if you ask me, from what I saw of the game. But yeah, United pretty solid. Bruno it was who got the winner, assist from Delo there, and yeah, they'll be buzzing with that result. United, obviously built on Monday night, big result there, big result here. They'll be looking to build a bit of momentum now. They'll look at build a top four challenge of their own. They did start poor, but if they keep getting this run of form going, you never know where they could end up this year. They could do well. Southampton, they'll be a bit disappointed not to get anything. But it's a tough game as always. United playing against them, but yeah, they won't be too disheartened. They need to pick up points against the likes of Brentford and things like that. Southampton, but yeah, good win for United. That. Next up, we've got Brentford. They took on Everton at the GTEC Community Stadium, and Everton took the lead in this one. I thought they were going to get the floor wiped with them, to be fair. They had a really poor start, Everton, but Anthony Gordon, brilliant goal in this match. Took it well. Assist from Conor Cody. He's had a lot of links away, Gordon, recently, the likes of Chelsea, but he took his goal really well, I must say. A little finger in the air celebration afterwards. I think that's because of all the talk that's going on. I don't know how much Anthony Gordon wants to move to Chelsea, but performances like that, it's not going to sort of get that talk going away, really. They'll be disappointed to concede late on against Brentford, and 84th minute, Janel got the goal. A bit of a scrappy one it was from a corner. I did see that goal. We'll have a look at the stats. As you can see here, Brentford had a lot of chances, had more of the ball than Everton, and it's a bit worrying for me for Lampard. They just don't seem to be getting the best of games, whoever they play, really. The midfield, they can't really get a hold of the game. No striker still recognised. They've just signed Neil Maupay from Brighton, but that might take him a few weeks to get in. I don't think he'll have had a good pre-season there at Brighton, because I think they were aware he was going to be leaving. So yeah, a lot of building work for Everton really to come. They need to do it quickly, or Lampard might find himself out of a job, if I'm honest. But yeah, Brentford, they'll be pleased to get a point. Probably not the best game they've had this year. Obviously, they've turned over the likes of United and stuff like that. They'll be disappointed not to get more than a point, really. They've created plenty of chances, as we can see. But yeah, they'll take that a point at home to Everton, and Everton probably be pleased that they didn't get beat again. Next up, Brighton took on Leeds at Amex Stadium. A game I thought would be a pretty good one. I think I predicted a draw for this one. But that man again, Pascal Gross, came up with a goal. He scored, I think he's got 3 in 4 games now, something like that, which is really good for a midfielder. You see here, Leeds had most of possession, but Brighton took the chances, and that's what you got to do in this game, in this day and age. But yeah, really good result for Brighton. They're building on. I think they're still unbeaten. Yeah, they are still unbeaten in 4 games. We wouldn't have thought that coming into the season. And Graham Potter's got them playing brilliant stuff, and this man's on fire, Pascal Gross. They've lost players, like I keep saying, going into the season, but it's not letting them phase them. They're still building, and it's got a lot of young players there coming into the side. Undav and stuff will eventually get his way in. Levi Colwill on loan, really good player. And yeah, the only way is up for me for Brighton, and as long as they keep holding that man Graham Potter, promising things to come, I think. And a good result that against Leeds, who were in pretty good form coming into that one. Next up, Stamford Bridge. Chelsea took on Leicester. Conor Gallagher got an early red card in this one. 2 bookings in the space of what I think was about 7 minutes. Yeah, 6 minutes, sorry. Yeah, bit of a silly decision really for Conor Gallagher. You know, you get booked early on. You shouldn't really be throwing yourself into daft challenges like that, and he did. And yeah, he put his team on the back foot a bit really, but you know, they came through it. Chelsea, Leicester started really poor. As we see here, you know, had most of the ball, created quite a few chances, but Chelsea were more clinical on the day really. Sterling, as we see, got 2 goals. The second one was a really good finish. Seen that, bent it right into the top corner, beautiful goal. But yeah, Leicester, they really have struggled this start of the season, and they should. I know they're away from home, but if a team goes down to 10 men, you've got to make the most of it, and they've not done that in this game. And yeah, it's worrying times for Leicester. You know, they've still got all these players linked away. Tielemans, Fofana didn't even play because, you know, he's linked with Chelsea. It won't make sense for him to play really. And yeah, it's a bit of a struggling time. If they don't spend any money and Rodgers does bite the bullet, I think it's a bit unfair because they've not backed him to bring players in, and you know, he won't be happy with what he's got. He's got, you know, midfielders playing in defence, for crying out loud. But yeah, bit of a strange start really for Leicester. Yeah, they are struggling at the moment, and for me, they need reinforcements before that window closes. Next up, there's probably not shockers in terms of who won the game, but the scoreline really 9-0, 9-0. And if I go on the stats here, I don't know. I'm not sure how many shots they had, but I'd have to guess. I'd probably say over 28. Oh, at 19, that does shock me. But well, what I will say is they'll be very clinical there. Touched 12 on target and they scored 9 goals. That's pretty clinical. 70% of the ball. You know, you feel for Bournemouth really. They came into this one. Liverpool sort of licking the wounds and really up for it. And yeah, they got turned over, didn't they? It was 5-0 at half time. And, you know, I think a lot of Bournemouth fans probably hit the road after 5 at half time, but you know, it's a bit of a shame. You know, they come into the season. For me, they are going to go down. It's a bit of a shame. They've not really recruited massively. If you have a look at the team they put out, they brought in a couple of players, Neto and things like that. And you know, Solanke's sort of been pinned on hopes of getting them up. He had that injury early doors. Tavernier's come in, stabilise them a little bit. But yeah, these are the kind of games that they're not going to expect much, but you don't want 9-0 thrashing at any point in the season, do you really? But what I will say is, you know, losing 9-0, if you're going to do it early on in the season, because you can sort of learn from it, and you can sort of re-galvanise the squad. It'll knock you for confidence for a bit, don't get me wrong, but doing it early on rather than later in the season is probably the best thing that could have happened to him in a strange way. Like I say, they will learn a lot from that 9-0 defeat. I know it's probably a bit of a disheartening result, but you know, they've got to come back from that, or they're just going to end up going down really early on in the season. I know they won the first game, which was a brilliant result, but if you keep getting results like this, then it's going to be a long old year. But yeah, Liverpool, they look back to the best in this one. I'll speak a bit about them for a change rather than going on about Bournemouth. Yeah, as you can see, Trent had a brilliant game. He got a goal and an assist. Diaz chipped in with 2. The only man not on there is Mo Salah. Where was he? He didn't contribute anything. A lot of people have had him in the fantasy teams and captain, stuff like that. But yeah, nothing from Salah in this game. I think that was the only shock really, apart from the scoreline. But yeah, nothing from Salah. But Liverpool will be buzzing with that 9-0 win at home. And they look like they'll want to be back now in form and climbing up that table all they want. That's what they'll be looking for. Next up at the Etihad, Man City took on Crystal Palace, and as we can see here, City went behind 2-0 half time. An own goal from John Stones, you know, a cross came in, nobody really seemed to deal with it, put a name on it, and it bounced off Stones and went in the goal. Second one again, Joachim Andersen, completely unmarked, headed away, bottom corner, 2-0. And yeah, they had it all to do really, but I was at the game and I kind of thought if they took if they got that second goal in the second half, if you know what I mean, it was 1-0 at half time, then they got the second. And I'd been a bit more worried then, but because they went in 2-0 at half time, I just thought Pep's going to get into them here at half time and they're going to come out a different team, and that's exactly what happened, to be honest. They didn't really have much of a sniff in the second half, Palace, and you know, they probably got tired and things like that, but yeah, City looked a different beast. This man in particular, Bernardo Silva, was unbelievable. He was absolutely everywhere, out wide, in the middle, cropping up all over the place in defence. But yeah, he had a brilliant game, and what can I say about this man? He's just on the end of everything. I think in the end he only had about 18 touches, but still got himself 3 goals. What's that, a goal every 6 touches? You can't complain with that, can you? Yeah, but solid comeback win. They do it the hard way, don't they, City, at times? But yeah, and they certainly did that in this game. But yeah, hat-trick from the big man. What can you say? He's going to get a lot of goals this season. And they were all really sort of the goals you'll expect him to score. The third one, he got put through. Lovely little one-on-one finish. But the first 2 were just typical poacher's goals that you're going to expect him to score a lot of this year. Foden putting a lovely ball, headed it away, and then there's a lovely little team move that was passed around the box, and then he was on the end of that one. Proper poacher's goals, and he's going to score 30 odd plus of them, I think, this season. And yeah, really good win that for City, especially being 2-0 down, like I say. Next up at the Emirates, Arsenal took on Fulham, and this was another one that I thought was going to be a bit of a shock. When I seen Mitrovic pop up and score in the 56th minute, Gabriel was playing around at the back, and yeah, he gave it away. Mitrovic was there to tap home, and yeah, but then Arsenal, they fought back. That's a sign of a good team, I think, when you could go behind and like City did and galvanise and get back into the game. See, he had a lot of ball, a lot of chances, just couldn't put any away. And Jesus had a bit of one of them days at the office game where just couldn't put anything away. Martin Odegaard came up with a goal, bit of a scrappy one. Both goals were quite scrappy, really, for Arsenal. And then that man who made the mistake for the Mitrovic goal, Gabriel, he got the winner. I bet he'd been over the moon. After giving Mitrovic that goal, he'd have thought, I need to do something here to get back in the good books. And he did that. He got the goal, and yeah, they've all been over the moon, Arsenal, with that. To go behind, the fans are probably thinking, oh no, here we go again, typical Arsenal. But yeah, they fought their way back in, and that looked like a top 4 performance to me, a top 4 side. You've got to grind out and get the result even when you don't play your best, and that's what they did. Credit to them. Really good win that for Arsenal, especially being behind. But yeah, they'll look at a build on that and stay in that top 4. Next up, Villa took on West Ham at Villa Park, and a bit of a poor game again from Villa. They had a bit of good ball, but don't really convert much. It was a bit of a drab game, really. You see, not a great deal amount of chances created from both teams. Villa had the slight more possession, but they're at home. We probably expect them to. West Ham, they did get the win in this one. They'll be buzzing to get off the mark. Pablo Fornals with the goal. Lovely little long range effort that was. But yeah, they are they're in a bit of a rut, aren't they, Villa, at the minute. The only win they have got so far was against Everton, who are struggling as well. I think Gerrard's under a bit of pressure there, especially the signings he's brought in. He's brought in his own players, and yeah, they look like they are under a bit of pressure. He's got the team there, you just can't get them playing for whatever reason. And the likes of Digne and that, they're struggling at the moment. But Moisey, he'll be buzzing with that result. Skamaka made his debut. Well, I think it's his first start in the league anyway. He's been playing a few cup games and stuff, and I think that was his first league start. Emerson as well, they've brought in from Chelsea. He went straight into the team. He played at left wing back. And yeah, they'll be buzzing. They got him his debut, and they got a win. They're probably under all sorts of pressure, West Ham, going into this one, but really good result that. Got to Villa and getting a win. And yeah, they'll be looking to build on that if they want to get back in Europe this year. Next up at Molineux, Wolves took on Newcastle, and Wolves took the lead in this one through Ruben Neves, as we see there. Guedes with the assist. And yeah, when I seen the lineup, I kind of thought, Bruno's not playing. Bruno Guimaraes, I think he must have picked up an injury or something, a couple of days ago. But yeah, big miss that I thought for Newcastle, and I did sort of think, Wolves might nick this just because he's not playing. And it looked like they were gonna, Neves got the goal in the 38th minute, and yeah, they looked pretty good money for it, really. Newcastle, they do keep the ball well, as you can see there. But Wolves, they were a bit pragmatic and must have held back a bit after getting the opening goal, and You know, this man's in brilliant form. He's got a goal this time round. You know, he's torn City apart last week, got 2 assists. He's got himself a goal this week to equalise the game for Newcastle. You'll probably be disappointed on a whole not to get the win, looking at the stats there. But, you know, Wolves, they need to sort of start picking up results or they'll find themselves in that relegation battle. But yeah, Newcastle be pretty pleased at that point, you know, being behind and fighting their way back in. But yeah, Wolves got a lot of work to do there. You know, the new signings need to bed in and sort of start playing. Nunes, the likes of Guedes, they bed in soon. Hopefully they'll come good. But yeah, Newcastle, a few out there. You know, they've not got a striker. They've just signed Isak and Wilson's out injured. Chris Wood, probably not the best, if I'm honest. Not the most prolific goal scorer, should I say. And Guimaraes is out as well. So, you know, with a few injuries, I'll be pleased to get a point at Molineux. Next up, Forest took on Spurs at the City Ground. That was the last game of the week, and Harry Kane here, man of the match performance. He got himself 2 goals. He should have had himself 3, but he missed a penalty. As you see here, Forest had a lot of chances. I've seen little dribs and drabs of this game. They had a lovely header. I can't remember his name. Who it was. It was Yates with a header, just wide. You know, if that went in at 1-0 and equalised, who knows what would have happened. But yeah, Spurs come out with a win in the end. You know, that back 5 system, he's got it really working well. Conte, you know, he's got his 3 there, and Royale and Perisic started this one, and yeah, they'll be looking to get that sort of system working. That's how Conte plays, and he gets results a bit, as we've seen him do at Chelsea and Inter Milan. And yeah, they're really coming into their own, Tottenham. I think they're going to get more results like this, where they sort of grind out wins and sort of build their way up. And that top 4 looks really difficult to predict at the moment. You know, if United hit form, Spurs are playing well, Arsenal are playing well, Chelsea can keep playing well. Who's going to get that top 4? Someone's got to miss out, you know. But yeah, that's all the games for this week. Let's have a look at the league table then. Right then, guys, there's the league table. We've got Arsenal still perfect, 4 from 4, top of the league, 12 points. City in second, just Spurs just behind on goal difference. Brighton also just behind them on goal difference, 10 points from 4 games. Brighton will be over the moon with that. You never thought that coming into the opening 4 games. Leeds sat in 5th, Chelsea in 6th, Newcastle and United 7 and 8. Liverpool sat in 9th, Brentford, Fulham, Palace, Southampton, Forest, Villa, West Ham. West Ham now out of the bottom 3. They've battled their way out of there well. Bournemouth, despite that 9-0 defeat, still not in the bottom 3. Fair play. You know, they got that win on the opening day, so that keeps them out of there marginally. Minus 14 goal difference though after that 9-0 beating. Everton, they're still in that bottom 3. You know, they've got 2 draws, Forest and Brentford. They'll look at build on that, try and dig themselves out of there. Wolves, again on 2 points, 2 draws in there. Yeah, they need to get a couple of wins going or they might be in trouble. And yeah, rock bottom, Leicester City. Rodgers, for me, will be under all sorts of pressure, but I feel like it's unfair pressure really, because he's not backed him. He needs to sort of get something going in the market or something, or they're going to struggle. If they lose Fofana and Tielemans, it's going to be a really long season for Leicester. Right then, guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know what you thought of this week's Premier League games. Are United back on the top 4 charge? Not title, I doubt they're on that. Are they back on the top 4 charge? Who will get that top 4 in the end? Who do you think will get there? As always, guys, if you have enjoyed, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you later.